block.
And we now continue with our focus group of New Jersey voters, along with our friend and pollster Frank Luntz. Now,
you all had dials, and you reacted to ads from both Governor Corzine and his opponent, Chris Christie. I want to show the audiences at home how you dialed them, because this is among the worst responses I have ever had to dials. You guys are laughing. You didn't like a lot of the tone that you saw. Let's first start with Governor Corzine's ad attacking Chris Christie over insurance. Let's take a look.
Where's Chris Christie on health care? With the insurance industry. He'd let them drop coverage for mammograms, for prostate cancer screenings, autism screenings. They could force new mothers and their babies out of the hospital sooner. The insurance industry helped raise $100,000 for Christie, and he'd give them a $100 million tax break, while our premiums just go up. The insurance industry doesn't need a governor. We do. Chris Christie, wrong when it matters most.
Is that a fair ad? Raise your hands if you think it's a fair ad. Raise your hands if you think it's a fair ad. Yes or no? Only 5 of you. What's not fair about it?
It seems very slanted towards saying he's funded by the insurance industry.
What's wrong with that?
I have a credibility gap.
You don't think he's funded by the insurance industry?
No, I don't.
So you don't believe it?
I don't believe it.
What's wrong with that ad? Why isn't that a fair ad?
Because there's no facts to back it up. It's basically a blitz of negative campaigning, and really we don't want that type of negative campaigning. All we want is the truth, and we can't seem to get at that right now.
Who thinks that the ads have been too negative between all the candidates? Raise your hands if you think.
Heidi wants to talk. Heidi?
I want to know what Corzine's going to do, and I want to know what Christie's going to do.
And aren't they telling you that?
No, they're not. They're pointing fingers, and they're mudslinging, and I'm tired of it.
Stephen, you're one of the youngest people also in this room. How old are you?
I'm 20.
So this is your first gubernatorial election?
Yes.
Who are you going to vote for?
I think I'm going to vote for, not Corzine. I'm sorry. I'm going to vote for Corzine.
You're going to vote for the incumbent?
Yes.
So he's done a good enough job for you that your first gubernatorial vote will be for the governor to
Yes,
reelect
I think he's motivated. I think he seems like he wants to help the people. And overall, I just think he's the better candidate.
Then allow me to show you the other ad, because you reacted to an ad from Chris Christie that talked about John Corzine. Let's take a look at the dial responses, then I'm going to ask you why.
I ask you, the citizens of New Jersey, hold me accountable.
John Corzine's New Jersey, $8.9 billion in new taxes and fees, the highest taxes in the nation, the worst unemployment in the region. Now Corzine asks for 4 more years.
Hold me accountable.
Want to change Trenton? Start by changing governors. Chris Christie, fiercely independent, bipartisan. Christie will reduce government to lower taxes and create new green jobs. Chris Christie, governor.
What about that ad? Did that ad work for you?
It doesn't work for me because, well, it does work for me negative towards Corzine, because the fact is he needs to be held accountable. My personal taxes went up 20% over the last 4 years, and costs have gone up in the state of New Jersey. Corruption has been terrible.
Rob, did that ad work for you?
It did. Even though it's negative, it's still relevant if Corzine did raise taxes that much. Or, for instance, the other one, if Christie did the same.
Marisa?
I plan on holding him accountable. It's getting harder to live in New Jersey. I've lived in New Jersey most of my life, and it's gotten almost unbearable.
Can I add one point to this? Because actually, there was a funny moment in the campaign. I don't know if you saw this. The governor of New Jersey, John Corzine, sent out a memo to his State Department heads, and I wrote it down. He said, find an event, 2 or 3, that show job creation. I know it might be a stretch, but be creative. Doesn't that sound like he's telling his staff to lie? How many of you think that it sounds like it?
Sherry. Yeah.
It's just getting, as Marissa said, it is getting unbearable. I lived there 7 years, and it's getting so disgusting and corrupt, and if he came forward, it's almost like he's desperate. He knows what he did. It's almost like he's desperate.
This is the man who wants at least the turnpike to raise funds for New Jersey.
Exactly. Drunk.
Come on.
You know?
The truth is he's out of touch with reality, with the public. And he's a rich multimillionaire. He does not filter down to the people.
Now, there are 2 people here. I want to ask one question.
They have to raise taxes.
There are 2 people here. Hold on. There are 2 people here who are supporting the independent who may determine the next election. Who are those 2 people? So you're not voting Republican or Democrat, you're voting independent. Why?
Because I think both current candidates, they really don't have any ideas. I'm trying to see what ideas they have in their agenda that are actually going to work.
But you know that the independent has no chance of winning. You're still going to vote that way.
Not necessarily true.
It's an attitude.
Okay, if enough people are angry at Corzine and Christie, Daggett may just get the vote and may throw the election.
Let me ask one question. The Obama factor in the New Jersey race, because the president is coming back in. I think this is what, third and fourth time. He's got 2 events scheduled this weekend. In your view, show of hands, does Barack Obama help or hurt Corzine? Help? Does he help?
Makes no difference.
No difference whatsoever. How many of you say makes no difference? How many says help? Anybody? You think he helps?
It helps just because it throws light onto how close a race this is, and the fact that people need to come out and vote if they have an opinion.
You don't think this? I think this is a referendum election. Even if it's close, I think Christie comes really close, because I think the same raise taxes philosophy is what Barack Obama has done nationally. And Danny, you wanted to add one thing?
It's a referendum on incumbent governors. It's not a referendum on Obama.
Is it a referendum on Corzine?
For a year. But the problems we've had for years. And one of the reasons why New Jersey's taxes have gone up so much is because we pay a lot of states like Mississippi and Arkansas.
Yeah. Has Corzine, that word accountability, is that a fair word to use for the governor? Is it legitimate for the opponent to ask that the governor be held accountable? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, you all agree with that.
Of course.
If you agree with that, has Corzine been held accountable? Have politicians been held accountable?
No.
Why not?
You've been very quiet.
Because of a lot of things that have been mentioned, the corruption, the taxes. I mean, it's really out of control. I mean, I used to be a Democrat. I'm really kind of an independent now, and I'm almost thinking about going that way. It's just out of control, the things that are happening, and I don't know if he can clean it up, and I really don't think Christie's going to do as good a job.
One last question. Did you vote for Corzine? Yes. And you're considering not voting for him this time?
I'm considering not voting for him.
Do you realize between New York and New Jersey, because of the high taxes, that millions of people in the last 8 years have left those 2 states?
Yes.
Northeast is the highest taxed area. It's one of the most expensive areas to live in the United States.
No one is any jobs. The truth is, to pay for the deficit, anyone's going to have to raise taxes. So I want the candidate who's going to lie to me less.
Do you know what? If you move to Florida, the 10% you pay in state income taxes would go away. 10% of your income. That's a lot of money.
And everybody would be willing to adopt you as their grandchild.
And it's warmer in the wintertime if you have sunshine.
All my grandparents are already there, so it doesn't make a difference. But the truth is, I want someone who will be accountable and who will tell me the truth, even if it's something that I don't want to hear.
I'm announcing my candidacy. Will you vote for me? No, I'm only kidding. I don't live in New Jersey.
And no politician will tell you what you don't want to hear. So that's what I'm waiting for.
All right. I'll tell you what, I got to run, but you've been a great group. I want politicians that will limit government, lower our taxes, be held accountable. I think the American taxpayer, and especially the people in New Jersey, are overburdened, and I think they need tax relief. But you know, it's going to be a very interesting election. This has been a very informative session. Frank, you're awesome as usual.
And let your viewers know we're doing this on election night in Virginia.
That's right, and we're going to be doing it live. We're not going to fly them in?
Nope, we're going to Virginia. We're going to Richmond.
All right, guys, thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being here. Thank you. And coming up, the real reason why Hillary Clinton